Okay, I think I started this. I've never done a live before, so we will see. I don't know how to tell if anybody's in this or if I'm recording. Okay, I think one person's in. I don't know. I think my audio's on. I know I had to switch browsers to be able to stream this, so that was really interesting. Okay, we have 2 people. Awesome. Welcome everyone. Welcome anybody who's coming on in, who wants to come and hang out and obviously hear the giveaway winners, but I think we'll wait a little bit for that, especially if people are coming in. Oh, hi, Elemental Cardamancy. Hey, oh my gosh, all my friends are here. If you guys can hear me, okay, good. Thank you, Aileen. How's everybody doing today? Well, for me, it's a bright and sunny day, but how's everybody's late fall, approaching the end of Scorpio season? Hi, everyone. Oh, wow. I was scared no one would show up. That's really funny. I'm glad to have all of you here, whoever's here right now. Oh, in Portland. Okay, so it's earlier in the day for you, Myrna. Yeah, same for me. A nice day. Oh, yeah, the end of the day for you. That's awesome. Yeah, I tried to go for the middle of the day. I thought it would be a safe bet for people in the more western regions of the US and hopefully for people in Europe. And I'm not sure about time zones in different continents like Asia and Australia, but we'll see. Oh, it's okay, so it's nighttime in Belgium. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope I'm not keeping you up. Let me know how you guys are doing. I figure we could talk about cards and different things. Oh, wow. What a nice 60 degrees. I'm down in New Jersey, so a little bit south, but we're actually in the 30s today, so it's interesting to see that that is the case. Weather's such a funny thing. Lennon, hello, hello. Ah, how are you? Okay, you got a good day. Nice, nice. Those are always appreciated in the fall. I love the nice, cool but warm fall days. Oh, Manuela, hello. No worries. Don't worry about anything. So I guess before we get into the giveaway winners, we could talk about tarot decks and things like that. I'd be curious to know what deck or decks is everybody loving right now. What do I have to share? I mean, there's always the handy dandy Thoth, and maybe we'll pull some cards from there in a little bit. But I've also really been enjoying playing cards recently, so I've been reading up on that. Oh, hello. Hey, everyone. But yeah, I've really been enjoying playing cards recently, so that's been really fun. I feel like that'll be something updates to come on that, but it's live, so why not talk about what deck have you used today, beautiful people? Yeah, what decks is everybody using? What decks are you using if you do daily draws? That's what I'm curious about. For me, recently, I've been doing a playing card and a Thoth card, and I've tried to combine them and use them to play off of each other and see how that works. Kipper, ooh. Hi, Philippa. Oh, Kipper cards. Okay, I'm not so familiar with. I mean, I'm aware of what the system is, but I don't know it. So I would be curious to know more about that. Oh yeah, the Urban Tarot is very Thothy. That is a Thothy one. The correspondences and things, and the artwork is beautiful in that deck. Yes, you're learning the Marseille. Oh my gosh, me and the Marseille, I have like a draw to playing card style and things like that, but as far as Marseille goes, I don't gravitate toward it so much. So I am always curious about those who enjoy and are actively pursuing Marseille. Tarot of the Crone, yes. Oh, and you have all this. You have it all covered. You have it all covered. The Thoth and the Centennial. Got fantastic myths and legends. It's beautiful. Oh, I don't have that one. Don't know that one very well. Fountain Tarot. Okay, yes, that's a great one too. Very cool. I think it's a great fall and winter deck as well. Although maybe you're in the southern hemisphere and it's actually spring or summer for you now. But yeah, so Thoth for me, these playing cards, I've really been enjoying them. This is a deck by Anna Cortez. She has a few books out and about on playing card divination. I guess she's a pretty big name in the community. I know she has a YouTube channel, and I've been watching her playing card as like an oracle type course. And then she has her books as well. And she has one that's somewhat of a memoir, along with some like kind of divination theory. I highly recommend both of those. I don't have them with me, but Anna Cortez, highly recommend. So this is her first one. I know it's a father-daughter team, and her father illustrated the cards, and she grew up kind of surrounded by divination and playing cards and occult type practices through her father. Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you. This is it's what is it? It's opalized ammonite. So it's an ammonite that eventually became an opal through, I guess, certain like chemical processes in the earth. German Marseille. That's interesting. I don't know all of the styles of Marseille or what differentiates them, but I know that there's of course probably a lot of nuance to that. Ooh, okay, that's a good question. Elemental cartomancy. So I would say I don't necessarily read them like tarot minors. To me, I mean, there are parallels and they overlap. Something about I haven't actually, while using them, ever missed the majors really. It didn't really feel necessary to me. Playing cards feel almost like more efficient. It's like how they use the exact amount of cards necessary to kind of create a system. So there's nothing extraneous. Tarot feels a little bit more drawn out, like a conversation or an art piece, where there's not so much focus on divining and getting it done and getting to the point. Whereas with playing cards, it feels like the fewer the cards, the fact that there's fewer cards kind of means that it gets to the point quicker, and that some cards have to play double duty, like with the tens sometimes correlating for some to a princess. So that way there's that sort of masculine feminine balance with the queen, the king, the jack, and the tens, which are sometimes called the princess cards, or at least as Anna Cortez teaches the playing card divination. So it's interesting. And then the correspondences I find are pretty interesting. So you have, it's a little bit more, I think, earthly in its correspondences. So we have the amount of cards that correspond to the year and the lunar cycles, and then we get 13, like the amount of moons in a year, because a king is pretty much the 13th card in a suit, the four elements. So it's very in tune with the rhythms of Earth and the cycles and the wheel of the year. And then for me, tarot feels a lot more like it corresponds with more universal cosmic energies and heavenly bodies. So we have the planets, the astrological associations, and then the majors, which can be connected in those sorts of ways. So the correspondences feel a little bit more cosmic with the tarot system, whereas with playing cards, it feels a lot more earthly. And then, would you like that? Hi, Michael. Oh, little cosmic. Hello. Hope you're doing well also. Ooh, yes, good point with the playing card suits. Yes, but I've really been enjoying that. So that and geomancy too. But I think that that's more of like I mean, it's its own form of divination, but you can use it as far as like a sort of correspondence or tie it in to tarot and card reading of all sorts. So that's been really nice as well. what studies, if anybody out there is studying systems or types of divination and cards. Yes, this is my first live. I'm a little bit nervous. I feel like I'm not sure what to talk about. I didn't really come up with any idea or plan for this other than to announce the winners, which I think I'll probably do maybe at like 12:30. So I just make sure that anybody who wanted to or was intending to get here gets here, can be here. Thanks. Yeah. So what else? What else? Oh, there's also this one by Anna Cortez. This is the deck that wrote me in, and this is a shout out to Natalia from Ouroboros because she spoke about this deck on her channel a while ago, kind of in passing. Hi. So this is another deck by Anna Cortez and her father. So this is an alchemical addition to the playing card Oracle, and this is a larger version. I do tend to like larger decks and the way that there's kind of more imagery, it's more visual. It feels like it's meant for divination and to be used as an oracle when it's larger. Although I do like the portability and kind of the casual nature of a small deck, but this is the Alchemical edition, so the concepts are the same, the names and a lot of the titles are the same, but the artwork is different, so the art style changes, and then the way it's kind of the way it's gone about is a little bit different. But Natalia from Ouroboros mentioned this on her channel a while ago. Oh yes, definitely Lennon. Yeah, as far as alchemy goes, I'm always tying it back to Robert and Place. And then I know he has the Hermes playing card oracle, but I think the way he reads and describes playing card divination is a little bit different. So I know there are many variances in style as far as playing card divination goes. But I really love this one and recommend it. So I know I think you can get this on Anna Cortez's website, but I know the larger size wasn't available on her website, so I had to go to a third-party seller that seemed pretty reliable, and it worked out just fine for me. So I just recommend Googling the Playing Card Oracle Alchemy Edition. Hi, Emily. How are you? But it's really interesting. I like the balance. I like the idea of it not shying away from darker aspects. And I like the way that the numerology is thought of. I think with Thoth, I get very much roped into and keeping with using the Kabbalah as sort of my numerological, like, I guess what I'm drawing on. It's its own. There's more to the Kabbalah than the numbers, of course, but I'm constantly going back to the Sephira based on the number and the paths on the Tree of Life for the majors. But with playing cards, it's a little bit different, and I enjoy that and what the numbers represent. Also, the idea of the duality of the red and black suits, like the diamonds and hearts being red and the clubs and spades being black, and how that factors in. That's also very interesting. And then the way Anna Cortez kind of thinks of it as like sevens being more like a tool or an instrument, and then the instrument at play is kind of correlating to the suit. So with the diamonds, which would be more fiery, we have this sort of truth. Hi, Kimberly. Yeah, so smaller decks. That I have trouble shuffling this one, and I don't have necessarily small hands. I would say they're average hands, but I do have trouble when I want to riffle shuffle this one and bridge it, but I can just barely do it. But it would be one that I think is a challenge for some people. Yes, Lenin. Yes, I've just finished up a book. Actually, one of the books that's part of the giveaway that somebody's going to get. We'll announce that in a little bit. This Kabbalah book. This is the copy I'm giving away. But I just actually finished reading it front to back, and I highly recommend it. I think it was great. A great primer, great introduction, and there's a lot of exercises in here, journaling prompts, things you can actually do in real life to get in touch with and experience the Kabbalah for yourself. It's very personalized and catered to each individual. So I finished reading this one a few days ago, and I highly recommend it. So if anybody out there is curious about the Kabbalah, I think it will enhance your tarot studies. This book actually speaks to the Thoth tarot a little bit. So the writer uses the Thoth tarot, and he'll include tarot correspondences, and he encourages using the tarot alongside the exercises in this book. So it's kind of like it plays double duty if you're looking for more of a tarot exercise or to learn the Thoth, but you're interested in the Kabbalah, this will put some emphasis on the Kabbalah, but you can bring along your tarot studies as well, which is really helpful, I think. And then the other book that's part of the giveaway, which is part of like that series, you know, there's those like simple series and starter series, the astrology one. So I haven't read this one. And it does have a different author. So they kind of, I guess, hire or enlist authors to write on these topics, like authors that they know. But it seems really comprehensive. So, and I know the person that won this was actually looking to win this package, so that's perfect for them. Ooh, Scrying the Tree of Life. That is really cool. That is really cool. I'm not as well versed in scrying, so I will definitely be watching that. Hi, David. Oh, no worries. We're all hanging out and it's just a good time. There's no being late here. We're all just having a good time. But yeah, that's the Ana Cortez playing card. And I actually find that I like the way that decks sometimes pair aesthetically. So I've been using it alongside what is probably my favorite Robert M. Poyce deck. I want to make sure I pronounce it right. The Tarot of the Alchemical Magnum Opus. This one. And then, although it's basically just taking a tarot deck that has an emphasis on alchemy and a playing card oracle that has an emphasis on alchemy. And honestly, the art styles and the color palettes are similar enough, and pairing them together. So you kind of get double the alchemy present and those undertones. I don't think I am so knowledgeable in alchemy and the processes and the history and all it entails, but I do enjoy it. I think there's an allure to it that I get caught up in. But I am really looking forward to eventually getting Robert M. Poyce's playing card oracle, because I think that that'll look amazing alongside this one, and I think it'll pair really well. I think that he has reading material on that oracle, so I really enjoyed the book for this one. I do have a review on the book, so I know it's like a massive book. I have a review of it on my channel, so if anybody's curious, but it wasn't a tough read at all. It was, yeah, there's a lot of pictures, the wording is spaced, the font is decently sized, and so it wasn't a hard read at all. And it also didn't go through just card meetings. Most of the book is about history and occultism and all those sorts of things. So highly recommend that book, actually. Anna, hello, how's it going? And then before we hop on over into those giveaway winners, the last deck that I wanted to speak about that I've been using. I guess this is, in a way, it's a little bit like a favorites video. I'm just talking about the decks I'm using recently, but feel free to chime in, everybody. I want to know what decks you are all using and loving, or the systems that you are all kind of enamored with. I think I like the idea of systems of divination and learning them. I feel like I'm creating this sort of inner database that helps me along in some ways. Did I flip these cards over the right way? So I'm not a big oracle person. Hey. So this is another one I think a while ago Natalia from Ouroboros spoke of on her channel, and I got it off of Game Crafter. This is, I'm not going to pronounce it correctly, the Correa, the Magician's deck. And this is by Cassandra Beanland, Stuart Littlejohn, and Josephine McCarthy. This one has 81 cards, and I find it, these are the backs, it's really, really interesting. It has this slidey linen card stock. The corners are a little bit sharp, but it goes through more these sorts of concepts as opposed to putting a title to something and then having you unravel it. So it's pretty straightforward in that way, but I think it's it's great for more profound readings. Like, this isn't the kind of deck I would pull a daily draw from. A lot of the spreads are meant to look at the soul, existence, purpose, this sort of temporal continuity. So I've really been enjoying it for that. The artwork's pretty beautiful, but I mean, it's not, I wouldn't say it's my style of artwork. Like, this style is not one I feel particularly drawn to. Some of the more abstract cards like this I do enjoy, but and then there is a system. There are sorts of suits to this. You can tell by the the borders, and the book is actually really amazing and broken up very well. I know that there are a few videos on YouTube from one of the creators or a few of the creators that go through some of the spreads and how they use the deck, and I found that really helpful as well. But it's a very interesting one. Let's see. Hi, Emily. Hi. But yeah, so really enjoying this one. I know Anna, for example, is not as much of an oracle person, and we've had that conversation. I tend to be in agreement, although I'm enjoying that. What is it? The living altar. Correct me if I mispronounced the name or got it wrong, but the living altar on Anna's channel. Go check her videos on that out. Very, very interesting. I love the way that she created the wheel of the year with the cards. That to me was amazing. But yeah, I'm not a big oracle person either. I do like when oracle decks of their own have a system to them that is very thought out, and there are sets of correspondences, and it's easy to tie in with tarot and other things. I definitely like divination when there's a system. And intuition is great, but I like the idea of there being a system to use and almost allowing my intuition to function based on a certain system. It feels like a safe grounding place to start, and I think it also appeals to the inner student in me who wants to continue to study. So if there's a system, if there are correspondences, if it's very complex and thought out, then I have nearly endless study material to dig into, and I kind of prefer that over an intuitive deck that I think just sits there and I don't have any literature or books that I can seek out to learn more about it and its history and the facets of it. Oh, thank you. Just trying to catch up. Oh, thank you, Len. Yeah, they are really cool cards. Let's see. Okay. No, I know a lot of people love Oracle. No diss or shade to Oracle decks, to each their own. I actually think I wish I could get more into Oracle decks because there are so many beautiful ones out there with a lot of meaning and symbolism imbued in them, but I can't bring myself to. I guess I've gotten a few decks like that and then felt like they were kind of just cold, or that I couldn't tap into whatever was there. And I think that just has to do with the type of divination and type of card reading I go for. But I love to see and watch a lot of your channels, people who are here right now. I love to watch your channels when you speak to a moderator. Oh yes, I do. I think I might need a moderator, Anna. Yes. Let me figure out how I do this. Oh wait, what did I just do? I don't know how to select a moderator. Amethyst Ascension, totally with you. Yes, the Papa Squirrel. Oh, Papa Squirrel, hello. There you are. Okay. No, I'm trying to figure out if somebody could tell me. Okay, you volunteered to be a moderator. How do I select you as one? Thank you. Oh, click on the dots next to each. Oh wait, my screen is like glitching a little bit. Why is my thing? Did I do that? Bye. Click on the name. I click on the dots, but it kind of did like, oh wait, pin message report, add moderator. Got it. Okay, I can do this. I can do this. I'm not techie at all. Anybody out there? I wish I was. I feel like a lot of people think I am, but I'm not. Hello. Yes, tarot and oracle together. Definitely. I think, yeah, I do enjoy oracle more when I'm combining it with tarot. I'm almost a little bit jealous, or at least I love to hear like how somebody goes through the process of reading when they are more predisposed to just liking to do oracle readings. I find that really, really interesting because that's not something I feel super comfortable doing, and I don't really seek out just plain old oracle readings. I don't think they benefit me as much, but I know that others do readings like that for themselves and others, and they're amazing. So I love to watch videos and hear what people have to say. Yeah, Anna, you're blue. I think I got it. I think I got it. Ha ha ha. All right, what time is it? I think we're probably in enough to where I might announce the giveaway winners. So I wanted to like put them all in a hat and draw them out, and I thought that that would be a fun idea, but at the same time it was based on the comments. Oh, hello. Oh my gosh, so many friendly faces in here. So I, instead of writing all the names down physically, because there was there was like over 100 people entered, so that would take a while. I did like a copy and pasting of the comments and then did a random number generator. So that's how we arrived at it. It's not as exciting of a process, but I just have them written down, so it's not as suspenseful, I guess. They're kind of just sitting here on a pad and paper. Yes, hi Vivi. So let's see. Okay, I'll announce them. I don't know who exactly is here and tuned in. Totally fine if they're not. I'll find a way to get in touch with them. I'll go to their account, or they can, if they watch the playback just to see if they won, they can email me or something. So for the first package, just a reminder, it's the Kabbalah Made Easy by David Wells. You get this book. You get the Anima Mundi Tarot. And then you get, bye Brian. And then you would also get this green moonstone, sort of like a palm stone size. So the person who won that one is Tarot, Toke, and Witchery. I believe in their comment they said that their name was Zane, and that, yes. So Tarot, Toke, and Witchery, you won the first prize package, so you'll get all of these things plus a 1-card handwritten reading by me. So if you're in the live chat, hello. If you're not, no worries. But you are the winner of the first package, so that's really exciting. Let's see. Yes, congratulations to Zane. So for the second one, the second package, just a refresher, we have the Astrology Made Easy by Yasmin Boland, along with the Tarot de Saint Croix, and the crystal for this one is a Dalmatian Jasper palm stone. And then, of course, a 1-card handwritten reading as well. So the person who won that package is Hazel Jane Tarot. So I know I've seen Hazel comment on some videos, so maybe she's, no, I don't know if she's in the chat. Whether or not, congratulations, Hazel Jane Tarot, or Hazel, whichever name you prefer to go by. Very exciting. I'm excited for you all to get your packages and enjoy them and dig into them, and hopefully the books and the decks and the crystals offer something that's helpful. I just feel super, super grateful for everybody, all of the friends and people that I know that are in the chat right now watching and tuning in. I feel so, I don't know, lucky to be doing what I do and to be making these videos and making friends that have similar interests, that we can all talk about these sorts of things. So many of you are doing awesome things in your own life and have great projects going on, and I enjoy your content and hearing what you all have to say. So I'm just really thankful for that. But yeah, those were the 2 winners, and so now there's no more suspense. I don't know how much suspense there really was, but they have been announced. So wow, we have a nice group going on in here. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I know I did this live a little bit after I reached 1K. I wasn't home when it happened, but I remember I was like, it's probably gonna happen soon. Maybe I should order the stuff. And then I was away, kind of just having a sort of minimalist moment, and then set about ordering the materials. I tried to make them fit very aesthetically. I thought like, oh, like a green package, and then one that was a little bit more vibrant with these colors. I almost said primary colors, but no, orange and this sort of purpley blue is not, they aren't primary colors, but they're more vibrant. So now that we have some more people, I'd be very curious to know what decks and things everybody's loving right now. What sort of how is your late fall going? Is this more of that turning inward type time for you? If you're in the US or if you're celebrating any of the upcoming holidays that I know I am, I'd be curious to know how that's maybe impacting your practice. For me, I I think that this time also really I tend to see a lot of videos that are they switch over a little bit in terms of the content where it gets a little bit more introspective and reflective during the colder months. Let's see. Oh wow, the Crystal Vision's at a store for 250. That is great. Thank you, Megan. Oh, Vivi, the textured tarot. Yes, I saw you posting about that. And the Sacred Bee. You have great taste. Always, always. Lennon, yeah, I wish I could go for a day in the 60s. It's so sunny out, it's deceiving. I went and got coffee and walked outside expecting it to be a nice warm day, but it wasn't. Yeah, definitely turning inward a little bit more. Uh, the Fournier Tower de Marseille. That sounds really awesome. But yeah, I really enjoy the more introspective content I tend to see during this time of year. I think reflective and more contemplative type ramblings and inquiries and dialogues are where it's at. I love those all year round, but I tend to see more of them during the winter. I know for me, I'm planning to actually revisit a lot of the videos that I've made in the past year. Now that I've kind of just passed the year point on YouTube, I want to go back and I made like a bunch of videos that were kind of surface level, talked about a topic and explained it. But then I think if I were to go back now and offer my 2 cents or how that kind of topic or practice has evolved for me, that it might be more helpful to anybody who's actually curious and looking to those videos to learn something potentially. Inspiring Alien Creations, hello. I apologize. I'm so bad with name. Like I know people's names, but when I see an account or when I see a name, it almost feels like two people or one sticks in my head a little bit more than others. So I'm so sorry. Similar dreams with close friends, almost a point of connecting the dots or a puzzle for each other. Ooh, that's interesting. Yes, yes. I've been having some strange dreams myself and sharing them with friends and family members and then hearing their dreams as well. I love dream conversations. I could sit with just a group of friends or people and talk about our strange dreams all day. So yeah, share some of your dreams if you want. I mean, if they're too personal, don't, but I love hearing other people's dreams. Oh, Storm of the Century's hitting Sweden as you speak. Thoth deck for guidance. Yes, I am totally in support of that. Yes, VR myself. I'm taking a page from your book, Anna. You are like the queen of VRs, honestly. VRs to both yourself and to others and all sorts of content. So that inspires me. It makes me feel more comfortable doing VRs myself. I definitely want to revisit where is it? I have some of my supplies around me. I want to revisit daily journaling practice. I know I posted a video about that as far as like my tarot journal and how that goes, but my journaling, my card reading plus journal like daily journaling practice has switched up quite a bit in recent days and I'm a lot happier with it. I like the way that, for example, any of us with our daily practices and things that we enjoy or find value in, that those sorts of things can evolve and fit to suit us over time. And I think if we tried to maybe keep them as they were or to adhere to the same guidelines we set out for ourselves at the start, that we're kind of going to limit ourselves and maybe grow to maybe loathe the practice if we don't allow it to evolve and shift and change along with us. So I definitely want to return and maybe show a little bit of my newer type of journaling style for tarot. I know that that is one that some people enjoyed, and I enjoy looking at others videos on tarot journaling and stuff like that because we're all so different. Well, of course, there's Don Michelle from Boho Tarot and the way that she goes about journaling, which is just, it's an art form, it's a form of magic in and of itself. And so there's a lot of inspiring content there. I would say I'm not somebody to create these sort of artistic renderings and make my actual journal this whole work of art, but in my own way, I like to think it's creative. Doing a live next. Ooh, okay. So you're gonna be sharing your dreams in a live. Yes. Dreams about houses and cages. Maybe we need tarot spreads to help us investigate and interpret our dreams. Being VR yourself. Yes, yes. Oh wow, you use my spreads. That's amazing. I enjoy. I look well. Actually, this upcoming Saturday. What's today? Thursday. Yes, this Saturday, I'm posting another sort of spread. I feel like I haven't talked about tarot in a video in a few videos for some reason, and so I am sharing a spread. So that should be fun. I'd be curious to know what others think about that, and I know I enjoy watching when others share spreads that they've come up with. So those are always fun times for me. I'm always like posting and pasting things into my journal from others' spreads. Yes, your tarot. Oh my gosh, I have your tarot grimoire video pulled up, Lennon, on my browser tabs, and I'm in the middle of it right now, kind of watching it. I love your journal. First of all, that journal's so pretty. The innate kind of texturing along the sides and the latch. I love that. There's something to the aesthetic of a journal that does help it along. Oh yeah, David is asking, am I planning on doing the workshop? Yes, I do want to do a workshop. In the process of planning or kind of getting together the stuff for a class that I'm doing in person by me, but I'm hoping to get things rolling with maybe a class or a workshop in the near future that I'm kind of doing more online. That's of course accessible to anybody who's here. And oh, Ren, hello. Yes, so I'm hoping to do a class like that, and then also share a workbook of my spreads. And what else? I really want to maybe get things sorted first, as you may know, through me taking a long time to even select a moderator. I'm not very techy, and the actual designing and the things that I have to do on a computer to come up with like a course or a workbook and posting that and making it available, that intimidates me out of it a little bit. So there is that. Yes, I feel like winter is the journaling time. I know I fell off my journaling for a while in the summer, but I've been pretty steady coming back to it. It's almost like when it's cold, what else do we have to do? Or now that a lot of us are kind of back in quarantining lockdown, like in a more strict sense, I know that we are looking for things to occupy ourselves and to reflect. And that's, I think, a great part of our community is the way that we speak about self-development and understanding and awareness, and I just thrive off of watching others speak to those sorts of topics and how they view them, and taking little tidbits like that from everybody. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Yeah, journaling is tough. I agree. It's hard to get into it and stick to it. I like to think that doing a little bit each day, like telling myself I don't have to do much, helps me to get started, and then I wind up journaling more because I trick myself into journaling. Oh, Lennon, no, we need to. I think it's the perfect time to bake and just eat the best foods that we can. I know I've been baking like a lot of cookies and breads and all that sort of thing. I think fall and winter are just very conducive for baking. I know in the summer it gets way too hot where I am, and when if you were to turn the oven on, it would not feel very nice in the house. And so I actually, yeah, baking kind of warms up the house. It gives it that nice smell of just the fall time and baked goods. Judging yourself for not doing something makes it easier to do anything. Yes, I definitely will sometimes be my own worst critic, and I'll just bash myself mentally. And I know that's probably not like a healthy or yeah, a great thing to do, but at times it's what gets the job done if I need to get something done. So I can totally resonate with that. Ooh, scones. Now I'm hungry. I'm definitely hungry right now. Buy my voice tarot. Check out your VR to tarot collector. I will check it out. Yes, the kitchen. Oh my God. I'm looking for I know that you have a bunch of really great videos on cooking, Lennon, and actually magical baking. Uh what was that video that you had? There was one that I really liked, and I'm like waiting to use that recipe and try that out. But you do that all the time. It's amazing. Yes, Anna. I know in your video that you made about tarot in real life in the morning when you made, what were they? You made a bunch of different, maybe they were tarts. I can't remember. They looked amazing. And I was like, how did she whip those up so easily? I feel like when I'm in the kitchen, I create a mess, and then half the time it does not turn out at all. Hey, Justin. Bye, little cosmic crow. Magic baking like with wild herbs. I'm not that advanced. I don't know much about herbalism and correspondences, and I think baking with especially wild herbs is something you have to really know pretty well before you can dive into that just for health things. I get scared, and I don't think I would venture into that territory until I felt confident in my knowledge of identifying herbs and their properties and how they would affect me in ingesting them. But I know, what is that YouTube channel? Is it the Green Witch? She also has a sort of vlog style channel, the daughter of old, something like that. She's an herbalist, and she actually her a lot of her channel is recipes that are magical. So it's kind of like a mix between herbalism and kitchen witchery. So highly recommend checking out her channel, and everything she makes is usually from her garden, very natural, and it looks amazing. She has a talent for that, as well as making it very visually pleasing. Lennon, I might make a sale video. Yes. Yes, the Green Witch. Okay, so that is the name. Yes, Lennon. Thank you. Yes, winter and kitchen witchery just go hand in hand. I'm curious what everybody's magical practice is looking like. I don't know. I You know how you can look at YouTube analytics to kind of get an idea of the people that are kind of in your community and watching. For those of you who maybe make videos, you can see who there is. And I wish that, I mean, it'll show demographics and general locations like percentages of audiences from some areas of the world and that type of thing. But I wish for us in a more like a spiritual tarot type area of YouTube that we could have analytics to see maybe what like spiritual or religious paradigm an audience is a part of, or who's Wiccan and who is agnostic, I'd love to know these sorts of things about everybody. I don't know what paths any of us follow, and of course many of us just don't have maybe a specific path. I know I don't, but I am always curious to know where others are coming from, especially when I see such thoughtful comments about others sharing bits of their practices, or when I've spoken to a topic and then somebody weighs in on it. I want to know what their background is like, or what studies they engage in, and what they're coming from belief wise, how they approach spirituality. Ren, my magical practice is centered on eating baked goods. Yes, yes, yes. I'm all for that. Yes, I think we should maybe start a petition to upgrade the YouTube analytics to factor in things like beliefs and well, I could get on the topic, but I'm not sure we need to be giving corporations any more of our information anyway, though. But here I am making videos, sharing quite a bit, so I don't know if I should be one to speak on that. Yule crafts do a challenge. Yes, yes. Lennon, you're so crafty. I feel like you could definitely um, you should start that. I would definitely join in if it were kind of like a craft tagging thing or VR with crafts. I'm so up for that. Most lives go to the topic of food. Yes. Yes. If it were a little bit later in the day, I feel like I would maybe have some food with me, have a glass of wine. We could all hang out. If anybody out there, if it's evening and you're enjoying a nice adult beverage or something, all the power to you. If you're cozied up with maybe something sweet or nice to eat, I am jealous. Maybe somebody needs to do like a food tarot. We're always looking for correspondences. What if we were to like do a maybe, I don't know what I would consider it or call it. I don't necessarily think we should use it as like an actual nutrition guide, but in a more fun, lighthearted way. You could go about maybe looking to the cards for types of food. I know the fire suits and wand suits make me think of spicy things, very savory, something that provides energy. So maybe even coffee. I look to, so I guess the way that the sort of element feels and the type of food or beverage that would be connected to that, and then you could go down the rabbit hole a little bit further. And I mean, I guess that's almost touching upon, is that Ayurveda with the different body types and the sort of like nutritional guidelines and foods to seek out and activities. I guess in some ways that is its own form of divination that could be kind of not divination, but spirituality, spiritual practice that ties in really well with food. Julianne, hello, hello. Tarot Oracle is making a new food tarot. Oh, ooh. I will have to look into that. I know there are a few tarot decks out there actually that feature food. Now I'm debating going after. I know there are also a lot of great herbal tarot decks out there that you can use to maybe inspire certain recipes or magical practices or the combination of a recipe with magical practice. I love that. Is there a tarot food deck yet? Oh, hi, Trent. Haven't seen one. Wouldn't be surprised. I've seen decks where food is featured pretty heavily in the artwork and imagery, but I don't know if there's one that maybe gives you a recipe with a card. But maybe that's something for somebody to invest in. I would definitely back that on Kickstarter. Oh wait, Anna says yes, there is. She doesn't know the name. It's kind of for fun. Okay, I could definitely see that being the case. Ooh, Julianne, you have amazing decks. You have so many amazing decks that you've made. You are incredible. Thinking of making a health and medical oracle, I would buy that. That's amazing. I think you would be a great one to do it too, based on just all of your knowledge. Pentacles would be pies. Yes, Vivi, that would be. Yes, we can have like cookies, pies, cakes. I do kind of associate pentacles and discs with like sweeter foods, more dense foods that are like heavier, the kind that make you kind of just want to relax and go into a food coma afterwards. And then I kind of think of like the sword soup maybe as like healthy foods. So like you would have like, because it's harsh, you know what I mean? Sometimes I think we think of healthier foods as being a bit harsh because they're not sometimes the foods we want to seek out, not all the time. And while it says Cedar, McLeod is painting the soupstone tarot with edibles in the picture. Yes, okay. I could definitely go for that. So many tarot and food related ideas. I love this. Pizza for dinner. I pulled the ace of pence. Yes, yes. Oh, Abby, hello. Yes, Abby. I am totally, yes. I think maybe using the tarot for food is actually, it would probably save me a lot of time. There are plenty of days where I spend way too much time actually deciding what to eat, wasting kind of the mental energy when I could be consulting the tarot as I do for many other serious matters. I was speaking to this a bit earlier, but I think we have some different people in the chat and some more people in the chat. But I'd be curious to know what systems of divination everyone's enjoying or how you're going about using them for yourself. I know that we love self-development, and some of us actually read for others, which is great. But I'm curious always, what sort of inquiries and what are we asking of the cards on a daily basis? What are the kinds of the baseline? Are you somebody who asks more just simple questions throughout the day? Are they more reflective and not meant to help your decision making? I always want to know these sorts of things. I'm more of a reflective card puller where I will have my daily draw and maybe speak to it through maybe a creative writing sort of prompt. But I would say that actually making decisions, very literal, practical decisions with the cards is something I don't do so often, or I shy away from it, or I kind of just take whatever I get with a grain of salt. But I would love to know what others do. Oh, you want, okay, Elemental Cartomancy wants to learn runes. I'm with you. I think I've tried to learn runes, and with anything, I think learning your interest needs to be kept, and I think that system didn't. It wasn't for me. I don't know. It just I guess maybe the visual aspect wasn't there enough for me, and so I fell off the wagon. Julian, yes, food is a very serious matter. I agree. We do need to eat. It is quite serious. Not pies and cakes and wine and all those things. Well, I wouldn't mind a deck for choosing a wine type of wine. I would be totally into a wine deck or a wine oracle. With their, I'm learning runes. Just bought a little green book. Oh, yes. Okay. I need to get into runes. I see so many amazing videos on runes and the ways that they can be used and how they're spoken about. I know Nina from Shuffle Tarot with her rune cards, they look amazing. And the only thing that's really keeping me from getting, I love the one that she has for her ratty, but I don't really read runes. So Trent does a daily tarot one card pull and oracle pull for daily thoughts and learning of the card, and then a three card pull for the week. I like that. I like that. I do something similar. I do my tarot pull for the day and then a playing card pull for the day, and then sometimes I just do spreads for fun or reflective aspects throughout the day if I have free time and I'm just kind of shuffling, or I'll kind of use them to look at the world in a certain way, or I'll like assign meaning, or I'll make little scenes, like how when I finish a book, if I do book mapping, or if I'm thinking about maybe a work scenario or something, I'll start laying cards on the table and picking out, okay, this person to me in this situation feels like a two of wands and they're the queen of swords, and so I'll lay it out like that. Oh, okay. Withers Cottage studies Vedic astrology. Vedic astrology is so interesting. I know, Julianne, I have your deck on Vedic astrology, and I'm slowly but surely plucking away at learning. And your book that accompanies the deck is amazing. Justin Michael, I made my own runes. I just prefer Ogham. Same. I may do Kelly's class on runes. I did her casting class, and that was great. Ooh, okay, I didn't know about this class. I might have to enroll myself, but I tend to agree, Justin, with you on the Oghams versus runes, just because I take more of a Celtic approach to spirituality and things, and I think you do too, based on what I've seen of your videos. So I'm with you. I love Oghams. I have an Ogham deck that I actually really recommend. Okay, I'm going to share this OM deck, but I'll be right back. I just spilled my very full glass of water that I had at my feet. I apologize. I'll be right back. It shouldn't be more than a minute or two, but I have to clean this up. I guess that's part of the perk of being live, is that when there's a mistake or you spill something, that you kind of have to handle it in the moment, and those things happen. Same, pull a daily card. Oh no. Ooh, Julianne, that sounds amazing. I might have to sign up for that. So this deck, I know I've mentioned it. I think I've mentioned it before. I got it on Etsy, but I think at one point it was published through Llewellyn. It might still be through Llewellyn. Yes, Julian's Vedic astrology deck and book are amazing. I highly, highly recommend. I'm still very much a beginner and dipping my toes into Vedic astrology, but if there's one place to start, I would recommend her deck and book. And there's a study deck and a regular, more sort of oracle divinatory use deck, but there is one that's meant for study as well. So definitely recommend those. I forget who the creator of this is. I know that I got it off Etsy, but I think the box said that it was at some point published through Llewellyn. This is, if anybody knows this, it might be like the Whispering Tree Oracle or something like that. These are the backs. And I think that when it comes to, for example, runes, how the actual symbol is very simple, so there's not a lot of visual imagery. I like how there's sort of a scene depicted along with keywords, so it's great for learning. It does kind of fill that and scratch that itch for more of a visual aspect that can accompany a rune. And of course, there's the keywords, which makes it easier for those of us who maybe don't know all of the oghams by heart and what they are associated with. But I know some of these prints are sold. I know that also the paints, apparently, when these pieces were made, the paints were made with sort of natural magical materials, and so the cards are meant to be imbued with magic. They're absolutely beautiful. I think that the tin covers the Willow card, I believe. Take a picture. Ren takes a picture of her spread and saves it to a private photo album on Facebook with reading in the notes. That's a really great idea, Ren. That's a really great idea. Yeah, have a good day or good evening, depending on, oh, well, you're in Michigan, so you would be, yeah, you would very much be in the middle of the day. Tarot, yes. Oh, Justin, I watched your videos on that deck, the Tales of, I'm gonna mispronounce it, Anaeth, lots of OM correspondences. Yes, that creator is on Etsy, right? And then they have their stories. I heard you talking about it on your channel. Very, very interesting. I have been debating getting that deck. Yes, plants to make paint. You know, there's a YouTube channel I love. Now I can't remember her name. I think it's maybe Joanna. I can't remember her name. She has like millions of followers, so it's a bigger channel. But she makes paintings only with natural materials. So she'll grind them up and dry them, and then create pigments with natural things like rocks and ashes and plant materials. And that's really interesting as well. I love seeing that. Bye, Rachel. Yes, that's it. Vivi, yes. And Julianne, Jonah Jinton. Yes, that is the channel. Definitely go check her out. She has such inspiring content. I love channels that are more, they speak to maybe the more natural way of living or something that's a little bit more simple and deep and meaningful. Although I can't see myself living out in the woods with minimal things, I really enjoy learning maybe from the concepts that are present. Yes, Lennon. So, she's amazing. Hazel Jane Tarot, you won. You won. You won the second package. So welcome to the chat. You got the astrology book, the Tarot de Saint Croix, and the Dalmatian Jasper, and then of course the one card handwritten reading. So definitely send me. Well, my email is james@lemniscatelogic.com. Or you could send me a DM or a message or something, and just let me know where to send it so I can get it on over to you as soon as possible. Yay, that's so exciting. So happy for you. So outside of, I know that we're all here on YouTube, and I'm guessing that we all are avid watchers of channels that, of course, Hazel Jane Tarot. No, I'm so excited to send it your way. Yeah. Yeah, and I was like, there she is. I was like, maybe they already told her. Um, but aside from like very straightforward tarot and spiritual content, I'd love to know what sort of creators and videos you all enjoy watching, or I guess this would also be our other interests, varied outside interests that of course are going to in some ways impact our readings and our spiritual practice. But I, for one, really like lifestyle vlogs. I mentioned in that one Get Ready With Me video where, I mean, I really enjoy BeautyTube. I love, to me, there's something so relaxing and creative and inspiring about watching somebody get ready and do their makeup or create a sort of a look that has a concept and something behind it, and the way that colors are combined and that technique is used. I really enjoy that. Vivi loves sewing channels. Wow, that's you know, I can see that, and I enjoy a good sewing channel as well. I like that girl. What is her name? I can't remember any of these channels' names, and I can imagine. Is it Rachel Maxey? Maxey? It's like vintage fashion, and she creates looks. Julianne likes gardening, herbalist, psychology, and mythology. Ooh, I like that. Very mentally stimulating. I enjoy that. Kelly Anderson Studio, she's the one that started me on gratitude journaling. Ooh, that is very interesting as well. It's so interesting and fun to see how our interests that are maybe a little bit less directly tied in with what it is that we do maybe in spirituality or tarot reading, how they impact us as people, and how we maybe approach the tarot. For example, if we're like, I enjoy those more lifestyle aesthetic type videos sometimes, and I will maybe emulate some of the concepts and the way that those things go in my readings. Emily Tarot Magic loves watching fashion to foraging, baking to beauty, magic to occult, tarot to home. Love that. Yes, I'm right there with you, Emily. I have a wide range of people I'm subscribed to that I sometimes I'm like, I didn't know I was into this kind of thing until I found their channel. And well, like sustainably vegan, uh, Blue Alice, eco-friendly Leah. I love Fairyland Cottage, man. Yes, Fairyland Cottage. So I was just watching her preparations for winter video as I was having my coffee this morning. Her videos are just like the perfect little snippet of time. I feel like it's a guided meditation, the way she speaks and kind of cuts the clips together. So many types of channels. Yes, BookTube too. I'm very much into BookTube, but more as an observer, of course. Although I like to think I make my small contributions when I speak about the books that I've read. But yeah, no, I watch BookTube and then I see how much they read each month, and I'm blown out of the water. I'm like, I only read like 4 books this month, but some of them will have read like dozens. Cottagecore is goals. Yes, Lennon. Creed Sheds. Mythology and fiction, explain channel, Roberts. Anthropology, yes. Okay, I'm totally into the anthropology and the mythology as well. There's a really great what is it on Netflix that I was watching? I can never remember the name of anything, but it goes into concepts in mythology, like the idea of the fool's journey or a hero's journey, and it draws from various cultures and mythologies across the world and has historians and anthropologists present to interview. Yes, Joseph Campbell. They reference him a lot in this series. Joseph Campbell's amazing as well. Here, wait. I don't know if I can open a different tab while I do this. I don't know if this is hopefully not disrupting the live. Um, let's see. Okay. Oh, not hard rock, classical music to gym. Yes, music as it pertains to spirituality and tarot is also really, really, really interesting. What we like to listen to. Justin, what book are you referring to? I love Campbell. I'm not referring to a specific book, but I know he's referenced heavily. Oh, I don't think I read that much. I mean, the books that I try to balance it. I'll usually pick a few books to me that feel a bit more like a fluffy, quick read, and then try to fit in at least one book that feels a little bit harder to get through. So reading 4 books a month, not necessarily all of substance or deep value, but I mean they're valuable in their own way. I'm not trying to diminish what they are. Yeah, what books has everybody else been reading? Not that this is like, yeah, I'm just curious what books everyone is loving lately. If we have varied interests as far as the types of literature we seek out, I definitely had a little stint with my novels the past couple month or two, but now I'm back more so into to tarot books and spirituality, especially on card reading or playing card reading, because that's what I'm really into at the moment. A very Dutch sweater. Yes, it's a Heineken. Heineken. Yes. Yes, Justin. I have a habit of maybe like having, I can't just ever read one book and read it and just get through it and then start the next one. Like, I think what would probably make the most sense, but I'll start one, I'll be like a few chapters in, and then the next day I'll pick up a different book. And I'll usually be reading at least two at once, going back and forth. I think it helps me to keep me kind of interested. If I were to push myself to just read one until the end, I would have a lot of trouble making it to the end. Bye, Alvia. Ooh, Vivi, that sounds amazing. Reading the oh my god, I'm gonna mispronounce it. The Bhagavad Gita. I loved your video on. I think you connected yoga to the moon card. That video that you did, Vivi, on that, I was just my mind was blown. I was so enthralled with the kind of correlations you made. Yes, Lennon. I know you read quite a bit. I love watching your book hauls and that one that you did where recently the mandala book. Oh my gosh. Ooh, Anna reread Liber Null. That was nice. Going through to yes, rereading books is underrated. I'm so with you, Anna. I have trouble rereading books. I need to read. Actually, I don't think I've read Liber Null. So I'd be curious to know what you thought of that one, or in what way you find it to be the most like appealing or beneficial. The Gathering by Anne Devlin, Booker Prize winner from a few years ago. Irish, a bit miserable but beautifully written, and Beneath the Moon, and that Tashin Tarot book. Yes. And Ren, I'm with you. I love a good mandala as well. They're amazing. There's so much power in mandalas. There's so much information. Julianne, I am with you. Yes, there are those books that just they stay there, and I'll come back and maybe get through a little bit and put it back, and it's just not the time. And sometimes they're just too Young's books, I feel like, are just ones that are long-term projects for me as well. That's so funny. I totally agree. Ooh, maybe we need to have a Lieber Knoll book club. Lennon, I'm with you. I'll start it alongside you. Oh, for sure. I can only imagine how hard it would be to try to read any of Young's work and kind of also be doing a million things. That yes. But yeah, I've really been enjoying Anna Cortez's books on playing. I like how, and I know I think this is going to be something that many have opinions on, so I'm curious to know when you read a book on divination or card reading and it's just the meanings of the cards, how boring it can get and how regimented that is, and it's not super fun, and it to me it just doesn't hold my attention. I much prefer reading books on card reading or divination that would speak more so to the theory of maybe different correspondences that we can delve into and things like that. I want more books out there on more like divination theory as opposed to practice or the more practical like definitions of maybe cards and things like that. I'd much prefer to know the mental processes. I love reading about systems of correspondence and cultural kind of attributions in history behind certain systems of divination. Emily Tarot Magic. I recently picked up The Middle Pillar by Israel Regardi, and that's been ooh, okay. So that is it. It's a Kabbalah book, The Middle Pillar. Emily. Ooh, Hazel Jane Tarot. Women Who Run with the Wolves. I need to read that one. I hear so many people speak about it. It sounds amazing. I was just thinking about we need more tree huggers out there. Yes. Write the book you want to read. Yes, Lennon. Okay, maybe someday I will. I think I'm still a little bit too new to the game to potentially even contemplate writing a book just yet. I feel like I still have so much learning and so much I want to do and experience before I maybe have what it takes to fill a book with substantial material. But I mean that it's on my list. It's definitely on my list. Ooh. Philip was reading Guide to Kipper Cards. I would be very curious. Kipper is such an interesting system to me. That and I mean, it's not the same thing, but in my head, I kind of compare Lenormand and Kipper, and I'm not a huge fan of either. I love, well, at least in my own practice, I love seeing how others go about using them and speak about them, but I don't feel as drawn to Kipper and Lenormand. So I'm always curious about what others think in terms of those. Oh my gosh, so many good books. My reading list is growing. I already have so many on the list. I'm always changing my book kind of reading list based on where my interests are at, but there's not enough time in the world to kind of ingest these books. I'm also curious if anybody out there likes playing card divination, if you have any recommendations for great books. I've been wanting to also get into the classics, so I think I'm gonna get the what is it? It's like it's by now I just forgot everything. It all went out of my head. But I think I am a little bit more I like to go for a little bit more of the classics in terms of divination and card reading type books. Not that I have anything against the newer ones, and there are some amazing ones that I've loved, but I think there is quite it's a saturated market, so there are a lot of new authors, and when you go for the classics, there's fewer to pick, and so they almost had to be you know what I mean? They were of their time, and that was the one that you went for, and so it held a lot of information. And now we have just so many perspectives that weigh in, and so many experiences of others. So there are so many of these amazing books, but at the same time, it makes it harder to maybe find the ones that suit you best. Yeah. Emily Tarot Magic. I have a few secondhand books on cartomancy. Yes. Okay. So you're learning playing cards and enjoy, but the Gypsy Witch playing cards have been interesting for me whilst learning so far. Okay, I've seen those. I wasn't sure actually about them. I was going to watch some reviews, so now I am more intrigued. Damien Eccles is amazing. What he managed to do whilst incarcerated is incredible. I need to check him out. See, I think I sometimes miss these sorts of things. Okay, Manuela, I find Kipper easier than Lenormand. It is somehow clear for Lenormand. I find it has less of a hierarchy in the cards, which makes it difficult to see. Ooh, okay, that's a really interesting insight, Manuel. I'm all for that. Isn't all card? Yes, all card reading is. As far as I know, all card reading is cardomancy. I believe, but I know that a lot of times it gets associated with playing cards. But I do think I'm pretty sure all types of card reading are cardomancy. Ooh, okay, Emily Tarot Magic. I'm gonna have to go check this out in your video. Yeah, I know that. I'm not sure about Kipper, but I know with Lenormand, it's a lot more geared toward fortune telling and forecasting, and the cards are very, from what I gather at least, and of course somebody out there who knows more can fill me in. It's meant to kind of, yeah, forecast the future, to tell a fortune, and the cards are very finite in their meaning, and they're meant to be this one thing. And I think that as a system is really interesting in as a concept, whereas with tarot everything is I think a little bit more up for interpretation. There's a lot of artistic renderings that can impact how we interpret them. Anybody here use Dest cards? It's a unique type. Neither tarot nor Lenormand with. That sounds so interesting, SCN. I would be very, very curious to see what those cards look like and how they function in practice. But yeah, so that's part of, I think, what, and also Lenormand, there is I know a lot of us can kind of resonate with the idea of liking a deck that has many cards in it. And I think the fewer cards that are in a deck, I feel less inclined to use the deck. It doesn't like shuffle as nicely. There's not as many possibilities. That's not to say that it's less complex or anything like that, but that I do enjoy. I think even I kind of kept myself off of playing cards for a while just because there are fewer cards. So I thought, oh, it's a smaller system, but I'm finding that is not the case, that there's still quite a bit here to study and learn and delve into. Bye, Emily Tarot Magic. It was so nice to see you. Okay, so Ren has Lenny decks. She doesn't really like. Okay, yeah, I can see that. I only have one Lenormand deck actually, and I barely use it. I kind of keep it around, hoping. I have one book on Lenormand, one Lenormand deck, and don't really use it. Ooh, Anna, yes, writing the possible meanings on the cards. Very, very interesting. Something about playing cards feels kind of mystical. It almost reminds me the way I think of like maybe like a traveling circus or something. I don't know why. I just associate it with very like fun carnival like energy. That would be amazing. I think we all need to go to maybe secondhand shops and thrift stores and see if we can find old playing card decks. Ooh, Theo, thank you so much for that recommendation with some witchcraft magic too. That one's actually in my cart on Amazon right now. So you read my mind with that one, and now I think I'm gonna have to go for it. Yes, I sometimes imagine just like eventually giving some of my decks over to secondhand shops and putting little things in them. I know, Len, when you talked about your trip to the store and you picked up a journal, and I think it said something like it's been however many days since the accident. Like imagine finding things like that in secondhand shops, and the way that just like the stories connected to those sorts of things that we find. I love going to secondhand stores and seeing what there is, and just knowing that what I'm picking up and maybe potentially buying has a history, a story, a life that it's already lived before it comes to live with me. And so it adds like an element of mystery and something that I have to maybe learn about it just as much as it has to maybe acclimate to me. Wrote on playing cards to throw everywhere. Ooh, Lennon, that sounds like a very cathartic exercise. I'm all for that. I want to try that out. One of my favorite finds at a secondhand shop actually was my Sheila Nagig statue. This is, I think, my favorite rendering that I've ever come across of the Sheila Nagig, and found it at a secondhand shop. And this was really when I wasn't really working with the Sheila Nagig, I didn't know much about her, and I came across her in actually the Dark Goddess Tarot and in my studies, and then happened to see her in the secondhand shop and eventually set about getting her. But I am kind of picky about my Sheila Nagig renderings. There are some that don't appeal to me nearly as much, but she is a sort of the embodiment that I enjoy. Ooh. Okay, Hazel Jane. I honestly, yes. There is something about it. I do agree. Like when you interpret a pip that is there's not much illustration going on, it's not really something somebody else would probably be able to pick up on if they didn't already know. But if there's a scenic sort of thing, I think that's something that's easier to tap into. Yes, it's an earth glyph over here. I tend to view the Sheila Nagig as very earthy, also the water element, but yeah, for the most part, earth. Ooh, affirmations on the cards, Lennon. That is awesome. Anna, that mirror. Oh my gosh. What a story. I leave this to my beloved Mary. That is so cool. Ooh, Estienne, yes. Secondhand decks sometimes have so much to them. Yes, pip decks are so interesting. I think I definitely am particular in the card decks I enjoy and what I seek out, but pip decks are amazing. Seen a few carved in churches and ruins. Ooh, Hazel Jane Tarot. I know in my area of the world we don't have any native or historical Shio-Nagigs here in the US for the most part, or at least the area of the US that I'm in, but I was planning to go to Ireland for the majority of this past summer until events transpired, of course, globally. But I was really excited to actually seek out different Shio-Nagig sites and churches that had her. Oh, the Orbifold. Yes, Ren. Okay. I think off of the creator's website. I could be wrong. Um, I think that's where I got it. I don't know the link exactly, but I think if you Googled the Orbifold Tarot, and I know he has a YouTube channel as well. I think it's still in print. I could be wrong. I haven't looked in a little bit. Oh my gosh, Lennon, yes, Marseille. I think yes. I'm so still looking forward to at some point making my way over to Ireland and spending a significant amount of time there. Oh no, he's out. I would. I don't. I don't use my Orbifold nearly enough, and I think maybe it would have a better home with you. Shoot me an email, Ren, and I will. I will send you it over. I don't use it nearly enough, and it deserves somebody who would actually really work with it. So, it is yours if you want it. Oh, okay, yes, I was about to ask. I was gonna say because you said Hazel Jane Tarot. You said you see the Shio-Nagigs near you, and I was like, they must be in Ireland or in the UK or something if they're seeing Shio-Nagigs around. Ooh, I would love to do that. Stone Circle and ruin hunting. That sounds so fun. We don't have things like that in the US. I don't think. I mean, our history as like a colonized society as it happens to be, but it doesn't reach back too far. So the idea of ruins and things that are old in that way, that are very historical in that way, we don't have as much of, at least not in something that's that old. But yeah, playing tips, magical travel agency. Yes, there needs to be, like, I'm sure that there, maybe somebody should start, and if there's already one, let me know. But maybe like a blog where it goes through pyramids in Mississippi. There are so many cool sites in the world. So many on the list. Okay, so Estienne has old ruins and stone circles in their backyard. Yeah, not much of that over here, unfortunately. Newgrange is older than the pyramids at Giza. It's amazing. Yeah, yes, that sound. Oh, I'm like getting chills just thinking about it. I want to go so badly. I'm like trying to figure out. I think this is from my light, but every day there's this sort of light thing, and I think it's this. I have a sort of lamp type, a glass lamp, and I think it's the way that the light through the window hits it, and I just find this so interesting every day. I love to see how light plays off of things. I posted an Instagram with one of these cards. I think I did this card, and I just did that. But light is so interesting. Sometimes I try to create rainbows and put little crystals and glass things around by open windows to see what happens. And for me, I don't know if that's a form of magic or what, but I really enjoy the way that I can kind of create things like that with those sorts of things. So I actually had a dream once, going back to that dream about, that conversation about dreams, where I had like a superpower, and in the dream, my superpower was that I could control light. And I remember that just being, at first I felt really like I got the short end of the stick, like that was not a great power. And then in the dream, it ended up being really cool, and it was interesting. Justin Michael, great seeing everyone. I'm with you, Justin. I just got a haircut like 2 days ago. In case it's kind of been very touch and go as to whether places that cut hair will stay open. So I tried to get in there and get a shorter haircut. Joseph, yes, the show, The Magicians, and the books. Those books are, oh my gosh, they're amazing. I love those books. Oh my gosh, wait, I missed some things. Let's see. Ooh, Baba Yaga's house in the cold Russian wood. That sounds so cool. And building a labyrinth, yes. Oh my gosh, I want to meet all of you. I think it would be so fun to come and hang out and just show each other our various geographical locations and what they have to offer. It's amazing. No, Magicians is great. Yes, Joseph. It's a great show. It's interesting to make to see how the books differ from the show. I love both. So, but the books were it felt very technical and serious, and I was very invested in those sorts of things. And the show is, I don't know, it's very lighthearted in a way, and I love going to it, and it makes me laugh in a way that the books didn't. So I really enjoy that. Hi, Candy Soul and Soil. But yeah, The Magicians is one of those series I think that will stick with me forever. I think for me, it felt like the adult version, maybe not the adult version, but a more mature version of Harry Potter. Like if he went to college, or if magic were, of course, there's a lot of differences, but for me, it felt like that as somebody who read all the Harry Potter books as a kid and felt very nostalgically attached to them. Reading The Magicians felt like a continuation of that, and something I could kind of bring into my college years. I remember reading it during that time. So yeah, I really enjoyed them for that. Magicians fans in here who tried to incorporate the finger tutting into their casting. Yes, I remember after reading those books and hearing about how technical the hand movements and the finger finger work was for what they had to do to kind of cast spells. I was like, I'm not sure I could ever do this. That sounds very difficult. Yeah, that's what I mean, like about like that very technical side to the magicians. It's very like a formulaic approach to magic, but then of course it's kind of like the age old sort of dichotomy of the intuitive inner knowing versus the exoteric knowledge. And I think the way the magicians kind of bridges that gap and investigates it through its own world lens is perfect. Fulu talismans. I will have to look into that. Thank you, Joseph. Does anybody else have fictional sort of worlds and series that they turn to for magical inspiration? I know I talked about that a little bit recently in a video, but I am so curious because I know we all have different tastes, and I love to bring my sort of like characters and fictional worlds into my practice all the time. So recently it was the oh my gosh, Octavia Butler's series, the Patternist series. Those to me were just incredible. His Dark Materials, yes, Vivi, I am right there with you. Yes. The originals from in Vampire Diary universe. Yes, Essien. Discovery of Witches. Yes, yes, Lennon. You guys all have such great taste. I love it. As a witch, as always. Yes. The Ravensboy series. Wait, I think I've heard of that. I am not so familiar. Is that the one? No, I could be wrong. Is this from the creator who made the Raven's Prophecy Tarot and it connected to the books? Motherland, Fort Salem. Such a good one. Yes, I'm always looking, even if it's a more corny book or something, I'm always looking for ties to witchcraft, and I can totally go for a book that's just totally out there, and I will go for it. I love it. I love it all. Mudra, right? Uh, oh, okay. So it's connected to that. Okay. Salem and Mary Sibley. Oh, are you talking? Is this the TV show Salem? That's such a good TV show. I the later seasons I kind of fell off, and it was harder for me to kind of stay engaged. But oh my god, those like first two seasons, amazing. Mists of Avalon, yes, yes, uh, yes, Lennon. I need to kind of go back. I have to brush up on those. Actually, I know there's a lot in that world. Okay, the Raven Boys, and yes, it's the same creator. Okay, yeah, I love that deck. That style of that sort of pippishness or lesser illustrated. And now that makes me want to read the books. Yes, Salem on WGN America. Yes, that was it. Oh, such a good show. Such a good show. I like to go back and watch that. What else? American Horror Story Coven that season, and then like I'll jump forward to the Apocalypse season so I can see the characters again. All those sorts of practical magic with Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock. That's one of my favorite movies of all time, and I think it's always going to be my dream house, the house that they're in. I looked it up, and I know the general area of where it's located. I'm like, if I win the lottery, that is at the top of my list. I want to move in there, and I want it to be as close to the movie as possible as far as how it looks and is set up. Oh my gosh, Candy Soul, and Soil going to rewatch the live and order every book. Juniper and other books of the series. Some kids' books are amazing, Anna. I am totally with you. There's so much there. I think that it's easily brushed aside, but I think I'm in support of going back to the literature that's geared for the younger audience. Bye, Vivi. Boom of Shadows, the book. I'm not familiar with that one. That one I'm gonna write down. There's so many things in this chat. I'm like so excited to go to do some research after this. You guys are amazing. Penny Dreadful, yes. Ooh, and Vanessa Ives. Vanessa Ives in anything to do with something more like occult or mystery oriented, maybe an element of horror. I think she's incredible. Something about her look and her voice and her acting style. It's just I want to see her in everything. Book wasn't as good. What Practical Magic? Wait, so Anna, you didn't like the Practical Magic book as much as the movie? Honestly, I think I'm a little bit more attached to the Practical Magic movie, but then there's the prequel book that I really loved with Franny and Jet as they grew up in New York, and I was reading that when I was living in New York and going to school in New York, so I felt very like I could visit the places they spoke about in the neighborhoods. Yes, Sister Witches. Okay, that sounds amazing. I will definitely look into that. Yes, Joseph, Benabel and her content, and I think she is in the process of writing fictional literature that's like heavily based on very well researched occult and esoteric type things. Early witch books by Margaret May as a teenager, love them. The Changeover. Now I want to like go watch The Craft and Practical Magic and all these. Dr. Seuss is magic. Okay, yes, Lennon, it is. The places you'll go, there's something about that book. I'm convinced that if you want to get something done or to incite some change, that reading the places they'll go is the way to go about it. That's my favorite Dr. Seuss book. Labyrinth, Lost is amazing. Love Lost and Labyrinth. Oh, I'm blanking. Are you talking Pan's Labyrinth by um or the other Labyrinth? Oh, really? Okay, Eva Green is almost the same character in Luminaries. She uses tarot too. Okay, I have to check out Luminaries. I loved her in Penny Dreadful. I love a lot of her work. Even what was it? Miss Peregrine's something. I know that that one was geared for a younger audience, and I was a bit past their target audience, but I enjoyed that all the same. Seka's Broom Closet artistry. Also Studio Ghibli, their films. There's what is it? Kiki's Delivery Service. Loved that one. Of course, it's a little bit more of that stereotypical witchcraft. She gets on a broom, is flying around. But all of those films, Spirited Away, I find those to be so amazing. Yes, the movie was better, Anna. I am with you on Practical Magic. Yes, but the prequel book. If I do, I have a copy. I forget the name. What is the name? It has like a yellow cover, but the prequel book to Practical Magic, it's so good. Okay, so Eva Green's a medium in the Lumina. That sounds okay. I'm hooked. I'll be watching that. um, Rules of Magic feels very dark academia. Yes, Ren used to prefer Practical Magic book. Now the movie. Something about I think even the soundtrack in October, I will put on the entire soundtrack of Practical Magic. Just the one song by Joni Mitchell, Case of You, is it? And then there's the Stevie Nicks songs. I think she has two songs on that soundtrack. Just the whole thing, or the scene where Sandra Bullock is like running down the street to meet her love. The song, "The Way You Love Me," it's nothing can top it. It's a cinematic moment. Yes, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. That's it. Oh, you read the novels, Soul and Soil. I would be curious to know what you thought of them. I didn't read the books actually on that one. Yeah, I'm with you. Sadly, there aren't any good movie adaptations of H.P. Lovecraft. Yeah, there need to be. We need to get behind that one. Sleep Book, Three Kids Magic. May order immediately. Yes. Piece of You. That's it, Ren. Yes, the song. Yeah, that soundtrack. Ooh, that soundtrack. I could whenever it's the fall soundtrack for me. Nothing beats it. I think there's so many Christmas albums out there, Yule type albums that really get us in the mood for that time. But I don't think there are as many songs and soundtracks geared toward Samhain and Halloween and the kind of early fall season that's really beautiful and where all of those changes are happening. I'd love to see and hear a lot more music that is centered around that and really encapsulates those feelings. So yeah, I do turn to Practical Magic and their soundtrack for that time of year. You said you had to Candy, Soul and Soil. Had to read the first one. Had to sleep with the lights on. Oh my gosh. I first I'm yeah. Sometimes scary books, scary literature can be like that. I would say I prefer scary movies over horror literature. I think with books, I really gear or veer more toward science fiction and fantasy, and then if there's elements of horror, then that's really great. But I think as far as books go, it's harder for me to seek out the horror in books. So like, I'm not a big Stephen King book reader. His some of the movies are great, but the movie adaptations of his books, but I don't actually read many of his books. Tori Amos, Night of Hunters for autumn music. Okay, thank you, Hazel Jane Taro. I'm yes, that one's on the list. I am going to be listening. Unconventional storybook I'm starting to read now is the Simon If stories written by Crowley. Okay, I'm not as from I know Crowley wrote some fictional stuff, but I haven't dug into it. So this thank you, Essian, for bringing that up about a detective solving crimes using a cult. Ooh, I'm into that. That yes, on my list. There's that novel that Hanny from Fierce and Pretty recommended to me. I cannot remember the name. It was by Lon Milo Duquette and another author, and it was the novel that actually was like kind of a fantasy version of a biography of Crowley's life, and that one was really interesting. The song Astral Lady by Captain Beyond. I listened to them after Anna Astral Lady Tarot. Okay. I need to catch up on the music. Oh, the Miss Peregrine series, Candy, Soul and Soil, which is kids. I'm totally when it comes to any horror. I know that feeling. There are definitely actual. Well, it depends on what type of horror it is. There are certain things and certain themes I find a lot scarier than others. So there are some horror movies I'll go to bed completely fine and I've reconciled it in my head, and then others that I watch where it really kind of chills me a little bit, and I do find myself up for a little bit. Yes, I'm gonna be referencing this live chat as like a resource for the next probably month or two, for books, movies, music, everything. Also, travel destinations. I got a lot of great recommendations that I'm excited to look into. I have those travel miles that I was supposed to use for Ireland, and or not miles, but just the credit for the airline. So I have been debating switching up where I'm going to go, or actually the amount that they gave me back, I could probably book 2 trips. So, oh, so much good music, so much good music. I'm checking on the spill, my little water debacle. At least it was on the floor and not near anything serious, which is for the best. But what was I was going to show something. I can't remember now. I cannot remember for the life of me. So I might start to wrap the live stream up. Love Fierce and Pretty. You introduced me to her channel. Thank you. Yes, Hanny is amazing. My chain. This is well, the actual metal is silver, but I think it's just a little bit. It got a little bit dark from tarnishing, which I actually kind of prefer. It's purposefully tarnished, and then the crystal is opalized ammonite. So it's the ammonite fossil that kind of got turned into an opal through just being in the ground under certain circumstances. Serious love for Hanny. Yes, sending all of the love to Hanny. Yeah, but I am a sucker for a really pretty crystal pendant of some sort. I'm always looking for unique pieces to wear. Ooh, do I use crystals as a meditation tool? Yes, I do. I'm an inconsistent meditator. I There are times when I'm very, very regimented and strict with myself about meditation, and I do enjoy crystals when I am meditating. Crystals and candles are two things I kind of need, not need, but I really find I do benefit from. So, but it doesn't have to be any sort of special crystals. I have my own personal correspondences and very specific crystals that I like, maybe how they sit in my hand or that kind of thing. But crystals and meditation for me, they're inseparable. Ren wears Ammonite all the time. Yes, Ammonite's amazing. Love an Ammonite. Um, by SCN, how do I use crystals when meditating? I'll usually look for correspondences, whether it's like more general correspondences or ones that I've kind of come up with myself that I find. And depending on what I'm looking for out of the meditation, um, depending on what I'm looking for out of the meditation, I will pick the crystals accordingly. So if I'm looking to use the meditation to be a lot more focused and honing something, I might go for like fluorite and quartz. If I'm trying to do more of a spiritual sort of meditation, I might go for amethyst and selenite. If I'm looking to kind of maybe ground myself a little bit more and for it to be a more calming effect where I'm fortifying myself, I might go maybe for hematite and moss agate. So that's how I would go about picking the crystals. What do I first, just maybe setting an intention of what I'm looking for out of the meditation, and then picking the crystals accordingly. Because the way, at least I know everybody meditates differently, but for me, I meditate with the purpose in mind of what I want it to do as a practice. So that's why and how I go about that. Incense is your favorite. I love incense. I have very, very sensitive like throat and lungs, so smoke, uh, herb bundles, incense, things like that. I tend to get irritated by, so I have to be sparing with the incense use. So I'm more of a sound cleanser or something like that. But I love incense. James the Witch, thanks for the cool. Yes, thank you for stopping by. This has been so fun. I'm getting so much knowledge from all of you. It's so great to have this more direct line of communication to talk about these things, and in real time you guys can respond, you all can respond, and I get to actually learn something as I'm here speaking to speaking to my computer and speaking to all of you. You just purchased somebody's yearbook from 1930s thrift shop, reading all the message. Wow. Wow, Evelyn. That is so interesting and cool. Wow. I pick up quartz stones in my woods. Got like tons of rocks in my. Oh wow, you find quartz in the wood. Wait, yeah, quartz stones in the woods. That's amazing. I've never really found actual like crystals in just in nature through walking around. Under the Witching Tree of Folk Grimoire. Ooh, grimoire type books are underrated. They are so cool to see how others kind of cultivate a practice and what they kind of instill it with. I love books that are kind of done in that way, the grimoire style. Yes. Old Mythic Astrology Liz Green deck. Inside guidebook, there was a list of names and birthdays from the previous owner. One of the names had my same birthday, but 10 years earlier. Wow. Whole Healing Tarot. That's really cool. Wow. Okay, so I think I'm gonna just start to wrap this up. It's starting to get a little bit later in the day, and I'm excited. If I can, I would love to even potentially try to get out these giveaway packages today. I'm not sure. Um, Maybe if I get the information from our lovely winners, I'd be more than happy to try to get them out today, or hopefully within the week. Hopefully before any more type lockdown restrictions happen, I can get to the post office and make sure they get to everyone. But this has been amazing just to talk to you all, especially a lot of the people that I know and feel like I know through the comment sections and through some of their content or off Instagram through all of that. Just it's been so rewarding. And also another big thank you to everybody here. I'm so grateful to have this like loving, like-minded, beneficial, wonderful community around us. You guys are all so great. More lives. This is fun. I would love to do more lives. Maybe we can do this every couple weeks or month or something. I'd love to hop on. I think next time I will try to have more of an idea in mind of topics we could talk about or activities we could do, and maybe I could pull cards next time. And that way it's not just me kind of coming up with things on the spot. But this has been amazing. So much love for you all. So yes, I think I'm gonna head out. Bye to all of you. So much love. Have a wonderful evening or day wherever you are in the world, sipping your coffee or whatever it is that you're doing. Yes, this was amazing. So much appreciation for you all. Bye.